Get locked in.
I'm locked in. I'm dialed in.
I think we're up.
Let's go.
I think I'm good.
We're good to go.
I think I'm good. Hold on, it's time to be real.
Oh, yes. Let's be real. That's what the cool kids do. I need to get with B-Real. I haven't downloaded that one yet. I need to.
Man, I'm like twice your age, and I'm on the B-Real bus.
I need to get with the B-Real.
Hey, what do you think? Should we get this thing rolling?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Hey, guys, how's it going? You need to get a drink.
Is that okay if I get a drink real fast?
Yeah,
sorry, I was like, that's going to be loud.
Hey, guys, Bronson's getting a drink, but that's okay. Mm-hmm. Come as you are, drinking some water or not. This is the 4th episode of the HIG podcast. You know, I feel like any episode that comes after Jason is gonna maybe not be that cool. I mean, we could try to make it really cool, and honestly, like 99% of the cool factor is on your shoulders. So no pressure.
I got this.
Jason's just a smart guy, you know?
Oh, I could listen to him all day.
I could too.
I really could.
I am MattyP from Harris Investment Group, and as always, the cool guy, Bronson Kaufusi. What's up, Bronson?
Hey, you're the cool guy, MattyP.
I try.
You have the cool nickname, MattyP.
Yeah, that does bring up my cool points like by 1 or 2. But I don't know if I'll ever be the Bronson Kaufusi cool guy. But that's okay, because we get to hang out, we get to do this podcast and spend some time together. Where are we at?
Man, well, we just had Jason on the show, previous episode, and it was really fun to have him on and have him go into, gas stations, multifamily, and us launching our fund. Man, there's a lot of good things going on right now.
There are a lot of fun things, and it's fun to have Jason on here. It's fun to talk to him, and it's fun to conceptualize what is actually happening as we talk about these investments. We're sitting in this building here, the Harris Investment Center in Provo, up on the 7th floor in this awesome studio that was built by Jason. It's kind of fun.
It's so fun. Honestly.
We actually have a few listener questions.
Sweet.
The one is directly for you. This is from Jeff B.
Okay.
He asked, let's see, Bronson, you mentioned statistics in an earlier episode. Did you take statistics in college knowing that you would be an investor someday?
Wow. That's a good question. Honestly, no. I had no idea about investing or what that even was, to be honest. I had no idea, literally zero idea. Now, when I really thought about investing was when, I got drafted and literally got my signing bonus and had to figure things out. I had no idea what to even do with it. And
yeah, I'm curious. What did you do when it was a check, right?
Yeah.
So I know the answer, but I want to hear it again. You got your check and you deposited it into your backpack.
Into my backpack. And then I was like, okay, what do I do with this? And literally I had no idea. And like, I'm a smart guy. I was like, I'm just gonna put this in the bank, I guess. And literally, man, thinking about that right now and knowing what I know now, oh wow. I'm like, ooh, I would have done some things differently right off the bat. But man, what a journey going from there to where I'm at right now. That's crazy.
It's fun looking back and connecting those dots, right?
Yeah.
So there you go, Jeff B. It was not really an intentional decision or deliberate decision. Again, shout out to Dr. Manning there.
Yes.
Love that deliberate.
Did it help though? Yes, it did. Getting into investing, because I could pretty much read any investment deck and understand what was going on just from the ability to read, data sets, large data sets, and knowing, how to take numbers and turn it into language, but then also knowing how to read the language and go back to numbers. Because sometimes the language, you don't necessarily know exactly what the language, like there's a message, the language is the messenger, but it's like, okay, where's that message coming from? And those are the numbers. And so if you can reverse engineer it, it's easier to understand, like when you read something that's talking about investing or different things and going backwards. So I would say that's probably the biggest thing that it's helped with.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool. It's cool connecting those dots. You can't connect them looking forward, right? Common concept. I love the concept. But looking back, you can connect the dots and see how there were things in your life that helped bring you to today.
Yeah.
Right?
Super, super valuable.
All right. There you go, Jeff B. Another question. It's from Paul P.
Paul P.
Yeah, from Indiana.
Cool. I was just there.
Oh, sick.
In Indianapolis.
Maybe you met Paul P.
Maybe I walked right by him.
Hey, maybe. I bet Paul would know. You're kind of hard to miss.
That's true. I am hard to miss.
You know, Paul asks, and he must have listened to our last few episodes. He knows what's going on here at Harris Investment Group. He said,
I like it, Paul.
What are the advantages of gas stations, and why will Fund 3 have so many of them? Now, our last episode 3, Jason was on here. He actually talked a lot about gas stations and the advantages, but to directly answer Paul's question, I don't know, what do you think?
Yeah, that's a really good question, and I get asked this a lot. I mean, right now, a lot of people are really focused on income producing investments, and so there's some different things that can do that. A lot of people are turning to private credit, right? So you can get that income. Now, the cool thing about gas stations is, it does create income. They cash flow right away, which is great. But when you look at them through our scope, where we are heavily in gas stations and multifamily, the gas stations are producing close to, what multifamily is projecting. And so with that being the case, and it's not going to last that long, it's a great opportunity to capitalize on that. And so being able to, see an income producing asset, that's a hard asset, that also produces strong returns with strong depreciation that people can use to help with their tax liability, it makes gas stations very attractive right now. And so with that, I mean, we're seeing a lot of good deals and they're coming up, and we're able to capitalize on them.
Your mic just dropped.
Yeah, my mic just dropped.
I loosened that up just the other day.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
Sweet. That was hilarious.
We're back.
Yeah, we're back. But yeah, that's a great question. And that's why in this fund, that's why, it's going to be, positioned with some more exposure to gas stations.
Very interesting. One thing that I love about what we do here, as I've worked here and I've seen kind of our pattern, is we're always evolving. Our funds, our investment options are always evolving. And they're evolving to incorporate what is most advantageous to our investment partners.
I love that.
Which is really cool.
The customer is always right.
Right? Sometimes the investment group is right too.
Hey, that's the best of both worlds right there.
As long as they are thinking about the customer.
That
right?
is true. Yep.
And that's actually kind of a cool thing, seeing that evolution. But that leads into what we're going to talk about a little bit today. So we're gonna discuss a little bit about owning your own real estate, like if you own a condo or a townhome that you rent out, versus investing with a group like Harris Investment Group. And I think right off the bat, it's very easy to know that if you're going to invest with someone like Harris Investment Group, you automatically have advantages like gas stations. Mm-hmm. Like I can't go out and buy a gas station by myself.
Yeah, and like the deal flow as well.
Yeah.
Like, you have people that know what's going on in the market. They've been buying in the market, so they have a better beat for what's going on and the financing that takes place. I mean, yeah, absolutely right.
Yeah. And, a lot of people get into the whole investment world by initially owning a piece of real estate or two or three. That's Jason's journey. Mm-hmm. That's my journey as well. Mm-hmm. I haven't owned nearly as many as Jason, but I do have a rental property that I've been renting out for a number of years. And
Sweet.
It's interesting to see that and to look at that and compare it against an investment opportunity like Harris Investment Group, like what we offer here, or what other investment groups could offer. So in a previous episode, if you guys haven't listened to the one with Jesse Yates, he talks a little bit about, some of the common struggles with owning your own real estate. There's advantages to it, but there's also, a lot of disadvantages, or maybe some elements that make it a little bit more difficult. The main one being bandwidth. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but initially you didn't own one or two pieces of real estate that you rented out, correct?
Yep. Nope, I did not.
Why was that not in your stars?
So for me, I didn't have any experience, and I wanted to be pretty much partnered and yoked with someone who had the experience. And so, with that's when I found Jason Harris. And so when Jason and I met, he wanted to partner on a deal. So it was going to be, him and I going in, and part of that was him. I told him, you have to be willing to teach me. But I was still playing in the NFL. So I was traveling, you're traveling throughout the year, you're on the team during the season. And so it was going to make it tough if I had to be running and operating my own real estate. And maybe I could have, I was married, maybe I could have had my wife do it. But both of us didn't have that much experience. So, having outsourcing it to a third party and a partner that was willing to teach us and that we trusted, it just made it really, really good as far as, it comes down to time. Yeah. It comes down to a time thing.
I'm envisioning in my head, I've had many calls from my tenant that the disposal stopped working, the pilot light went out, there's no hot water. I'm just envisioning, like, as a football player, you get home from a football game, you check your messages and you're like, oh, I got to go fix a sink.
Yeah.
But like you're in like New York and your rental property is in like, I don't know, Utah or Texas or something. It's gonna be kind of hard to get out there. No, you could always hire out, somebody to do it or take care of it, but it just seems like there'd be a struggle.
Yeah, it's a lot. Especially for someone who's, your time as a football player is all day, every day. Everything you're doing is, you're studying, you go away from the facility. When you're at the facility, you're just dialed in, I was fortunate, and I saw that would be the best option early on. So for me, what it came down to was, can I find the right person? I need to find the right person to add to the team. And together, I think, if we had the right person, I think we could do this and have the real estate experience. And so, part of finding the right person was they had to be able to teach. And if they weren't a good teacher, I wasn't going to invest alongside them. So, that's why, Jason for us checked all the boxes, especially where he was at and, what he had done. I felt very confident in him. And I probably met with him about 8 or 9 times, to be honest. I had to meet with multiple people in my family, financial advisors, CPAs, pretty much my whole financial team. And, for me, I made the choice. Like, he called me and said, oh, we have this deal. And he'd already told me about it a couple times, but he was kind of waiting for me because he knew it was going to be a good deal. And he's called me and told me that, okay, well, this is the time. Like, either you're coming in or, we're going to take this to another individual. And I said, my wife and I talked about it all the time. And my wife really enjoyed sitting and meeting with Jason and Jason teaching my wife. And that meant a lot to us. And so, we ended up going in on the deal, and man, it was a great deal. Yeah, it was in North Salt Lake. It was a 10-plex. And it was so fun to see everything, because I told Jason, you better keep me on the email threads. I'm going to come talk with you in the off season. I'm going to be calling you all the time, Jason's like, that's great. Do it. And I had a great experience. Yeah. Great experience.
That's awesome. That's really cool. And it brought you to where you are today.
It did.
It was instrumental, again, connecting those dots. My journey's just been, it's a little bit different. I never played in the NFL. I never played professional sports. That wasn't in my stars, although I really wanted to when I was a kid,
Soccer? Because you said you love soccer.
Oh yeah. I played until I broke too many bones and then I was out,
That's crazy.
I broke my hip playing, and then after a long recovery, I broke my ankle, my first training back.
No way.
And I was like, man, I just don't want to break anything anymore.
Yeah.
I think
that's tough.
I think I'm going to do other things.
Yeah.
So, but little bit of a different journey. I own a piece of real estate that I've been renting out for, like 15. Well, I've owned it for 15 years. I've been renting it out for about 10.
That's awesome.
But there's also the downside. There's the on-call nature, the bandwidth, fitting it in, the necessity of fixing a sink or a pilot light or replacing a heater. Mm-hmm. But that is something that comes along with owning real estate. But I think what's most important for me is I've always had a plan with it. When I first started renting out my condo, I was not an accredited investor. Mm-hmm. I did not meet the terms or the qualifications, but I wanted to be at some point. And so I realized if I hold on to this for this long, I pay it off at this point, and XYZ happens, I will actually be able to become an accredited investor and be able to then move on to investing in bigger and better things. So although it might not be quite as lucrative as investing in a fund that has many multifamily properties and gas stations where there's tax write-off benefits, forced depreciation, a really clear and concise IRR goal, it was something that was instrumental in getting me to this point.
I love that. And real experience is the most valuable experience.
You know, it helps me appreciate what we do more here and what, on a larger scale, what we actually can accomplish. There was actually one time in my condo where I got a call from my tenants many years ago, and they said, hey, we hear dripping.
Oh, man.
And it stinks.
Oh.
Come check this out. And so I went and I checked it out, and there was actually a leak in one of the down pipes, the drainage pipes from the disposal, after the disposal, but before it linked into the sewer or wherever it went. And so there was
What'd you do?
There was all this pureed food that was just being deposited like under the cabinets, and it was a mess.
Oh,
That's
tough.
It caused a lot of damage.
Yeah.
Through insurance, a lot of it was covered, but there was still a lot of work on my end, a lot of heavy lifting that I had to do. And I had some friends and some family that helped me perform a lot of the physical labor that was needed to essentially rip out the whole kitchen and put a new kitchen in.
Wow.
And it took a couple of weeks. And that's also a couple of weeks where the tenants that were living there had no place to live. And so headache after headache after headache, it was a nightmare. Like the bandwidth that I needed to get through that was stretched as thin as it possibly could. It only takes a couple of experiences, and they don't have to be that big to realize that, there's probably a better way to achieve whatever financial goals that you have for yourself.
Yeah.
So different stories.
Way to go.
Different paths.
Way to make it through.
Hey, I made it. I survived.
Yeah. And this is just as a reminder for everyone, you still own this one.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do still own it.
For now.
For now. Yeah. It's fun looking at it and looking at what I could sell it for, what my IRR is on it right now, and how that money could be placed in different areas and actually work harder for me, how that money can generate more money or create momentum. This is like going down Jason's lane here. This is what he knows better than anybody, but seeing how it can perform differently.
Yeah, that's the thing about money is that, money, it just moves.
Yeah.
And where you place it and, how you place it matters. You can get really good at that, right?
Yeah.
Then you can be in a good place.
Having that plan, I think, was very instrumental. That episode with Jesse, we talked a lot about different platforms that you can use to get you to a point where you can become an accredited investor and take advantage of different investment opportunities.
Yeah, momentum is real.
Yeah.
Especially in the real estate game.
Yeah, it is.
Because the compounding effect. It's crazy.
If you haven't listened to episode 2 with Jesse, I would definitely say check that out because it touches on some of the things that we've talked about today. And of course, episode 3 with Jason. Honestly, anything that Jason and Jesse have to say is worth listening to. It's
definitely.
Golden nuggets of knowledge.
Yeah, because one thing can change a single degree that changes the direction of your whole entire experience. I think that's the one thing that really blew me away with Jason is I knew he was making moves that I didn't know about. And I knew that there's just a lot going on that I didn't know about in real estate because I hadn't made a real estate move, but I just knew I wanted to know what was going on. You always have to stay hungry to learn and just consume more and more and more.
Stay hungry.
We
have a lot of topics coming up for anybody listening. You can chime in and let us know what you want to hear about. We have some 1031 insight that's coming down the pipeline. We're going to talk with Matt Denning here in a couple episodes about his role here. And
love Matt.
Yeah, he's so smart.
I met Matt in New York when I was on the Jets.
Yeah.
Shout out to Matt.
Well, you're playing for the Jets.
In
New York.
In my neighborhood.
When Matt lived in New York.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the man.
And now you see him every day?
Yeah.
a few times a week.
He moved from New York here to Utah. Yeah, I was blown away when I saw him. And I was like, wait, what? I know Jason and I know Matt from different, separate things. And now they're together. That's pretty rare.
Yeah, that's pretty rare for sure. But it's kind of like a story meant to be. So we'll have Matt on for sure. If you guys have any questions for Matt or for Jason or for Bronson or Jesse or anybody here.
Or MattyP.
Or MattyP, yeah. Feel free to send us an email. You can do that by emailing contact@harrisinvestmentgroup.com. And in the subject line, just put HIG podcast. And if it's a specific question, like for Matt or Jason or anybody, you can just address it to them. Like, hey, Jason. And then, as if you don't know how to write an email already. And then you press the send.
And then you're ready to roll.
Or the icon, that's the little arrow.
We're making it easy for you.
Bronson, it's been a pleasure, as always.
So fun being on with you. Join us next time on the Higgs Podcast.
Bye. I hope you find your dad.
See you later, alligator.
All right. We'll catch you guys next time.